There's a reason why we are in this particular venue, and there's a reason why we're here. There's a journey we're embarking on, and we have to do it in style. 2009, January, we started a journey.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have followed all these years. Of course, last year there was an interruption because of COVID-19, but we are launching it afresh. All these years, how did we get to start that journey, the brainchild of it? What were we looking to achieve?
Well, thanks very much, Mark Masai. Now, sometimes in 2008, that's when the thought of recognizing the game changers started. Then in January 2009, we actually had our first top 40, under 40 men. And in this, we actually really said there are good people out there that would like to share their experiences, would like to recognize them, and we said there's no other place other than Business Daily. And Business Daily is the home of quality, the home of top performers, and then the whole thing of top 40 under 40 was born.
Is there significance to the number 40, just for the people who are not too clear about it?
No, actually the thing is, life begins at 40. And you have a significant difference. You can make significant difference to your life depending on what you do between the age of 18 and 40. So it is at 40 that we feel that people's achievements, people's aspirations are actually achieved, because by the time you get to 40 years, you should have really done the best that you could do.
Right.
Yes.
And one day, talk about, exemplary, the creme de la creme of the different sectors. It sounds a bit high up there. And over the years, I'm sure we have been appreciating people from not your traditional white-collar jobs. Just to clarify to the people who think, oh, that's not my thing. I mean, it's the Business Daily, high and mighty, top 40, under 40. Who are we targeting here to appreciate?
When we're looking at top 40 under 40, we are looking at game changers on all the sectors. We're looking at the best sportsman, for example. We are looking at the best artist. We are looking at the best musician. We are looking at the best corporate performer. We are looking at the best IT person. So this focuses on all sectors. It doesn't focus on the so-called white-collar jobs. It focuses on people who have performed, people who have turned or benefited the lives of the people in any sector. It doesn't have to be a white-collar sector. If you are the best musicians, and there are musicians whom we have recognized in this. If you are the best footballer, we have recognized them. The best athlete, we have recognized them. We have recognized people in all sectors. There are CEOs who, I think some of them are joining us and they are following up, and they have performed well. So it is about everybody.
And it's interesting that a person, an individual, can actually nominate themselves, and we'll show them the platforms that we actually will be launching today, where you can nominate yourself, and of course, if you want to support someone else, to join this journey. So just a clarion call to everyone, even what we call Juakali sector.
Yes, if, for example, you have the best Juakali, you make sufurias, for example, and you make the best sufurias that we've seen around. You've made the best boxes. This is a Juakali sector. So you can nominate yourself if you've actually had a significant impact on the community. You can nominate yourself. You can be nominated by your friends. You can be nominated by your community, your bosses, or the people who work for you, your own workers. If you really have made a significant difference in their business and in their lives, you can nominate, they can nominate you, and you stand a good chance. Business Daily will, the judges in Business Daily, will look at all those people, regardless of who has been nominated, who has nominated you, or whether it's your own nomination, whether someone else has nominated you, and this gives you the best opportunity, the best chance to actually be among the best of the best, the top 40.
Yes, this is just an opportunity for you to see how you could be part of this, how you could be a beneficiary by hearing from those who have benefited from this and are now even soaring in the various fields of expertise right now, and judges who will be part of this journey will be going through your profiles, your achievements, wherever it is, whatever sector that you represent. Again, just to clarify, it's not just white-collar jobs. Now, speaking of following this conversation online, we have one of the other judges. He is in, it looks like the Mara, but I believe it is in Mombasa. He wasn't able to join us in person. But Mohammed Hersi, he is a group director of operations, Pullman's Tours and Safaris, and Baba Beach Resort and Spa, and the immediate past chairman of the Kenya Tourism Federation and past president of the Rotary Club of Mombasa, certified governance trainer with Center for Corporate Governance. Mohammed sits on various boards, both in public and the private sector. And it must be hard to hear quite an impressive profile being read about you. And yes, he's humble. He's just sitting there comfortably, but he will be, besides sitting on the numerous boards, he'll be sitting on the judges panel for this year's version of the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40. And you can see he doesn't smile much, so you're in for a rough ride. And also, part of this esteemed panel of judges is Oreo Kolo. She's a director of investments, Omidyar Network, and before joining the Adeco Group Foundation board, Ori was a managing director of the Omidyar Network and Luminate Group in Africa, both part of the Omidyar Group. She is currently engaged in advisory work in several fields, including impact investing, philanthropy, and technology policy. It's clear why she's one of the judges. Last but not least, and she's out of the country, wasn't able to join us in person, but once we get kickoff proper, she will be part of the judging process. Wandia Gishuru, not a stranger to your ears, the CEO and co-founder of Vivo Activewear. Wandia Gishuru is the co-founder, and a retail clothing business is Vivo Activewear, in case you're asking. That was started in 2011. So she knows what it takes to be exemplary because she's sustained it for at least 10 years now. Since then, Vivo has blossomed into the go-to store for stylish yet comfortable, functional, and affordable women's clothing in Kenya. She's not joining us here today in person, but she is part of the process. So let me start off with the lady, gentlemen, you'll forgive me, and Caroline Ndolo. You were a winner in 2019, I believe.
2019.
Take us back to that time. Why you decided to be part of it? Did you nominate yourself? As it is the case right now, people can nominate themselves. Or were you nominated? And what it did for you as a brand, as a person?
Okay, so I was nominated by a friend who felt that it was long overdue. It was actually cut off. I was 39, so it was like last try, and either get it or not. And I kind of felt like it was more, she wanted my story out there. She felt that I had something to offer. And what that did for me is, when I won, I actually kind of got validation that I did have a story.
At that time, were you still at IQVIA, or?
Yes. So my background is all over the place. So I started as a bedside nurse. I'm a trained nurse by background, so. And
hats off to you for the work that you and your colleagues do. We respect a lot of what you do. Sure. So yeah, good. Keep going.
Yeah, so I've been in the healthcare industry for the last 15 to almost 18 years now. And it's been a long and winding journey. The healthcare is huge. I mean, from the bedside to pharmaceutical to medical devices, and then to the consulting space where I currently sit. And I think what Top 40 Under 40 did for me was piece together my journey, which I had never ever posed to do. Waking up as a nurse and waking up as a consulting is very, very different. And I had never really sat down to see how much of a change I have gone through and how resilient I have been. So I feel like before even impacting anybody else, I feel that that opportunity impacted me as an individual. And it gave me an opportunity to celebrate me and where I have been before I could even celebrate or have impact in any other person's life.
It seems like one of the things that goes straight to your LinkedIn profile, like this acknowledgement and this fate to be acknowledged as a top 40 under 40 woman. In terms of what you do, does it add to your, what would it call it, value, would you say? And you become much sought after because yes, there's a validation personally for you, but then there's a value. Talk practically about that.
Yeah. So yes, of course, I had so many hits on LinkedIn as soon as that went up, and a lot of value-adding conversations, not just conversations with people or recruiters wanting to hire me. That did happen though a lot, but I kind of feel like there were conversations also with individuals, especially girls and women, who felt that my story was something they could resonate with, or it's something that really encouraged them. Like people who were looking to change their careers, people who were looking to change,
Yeah.
and they had fear. So it kind of like
If you could just
story
hold it
encouraged
closer
them.
to you. Sorry, I'm just being
Yeah,
told.
sorry. Yeah, so my story kind of encouraged them to go out and change. You know, healthcare practitioners, we are very conservative people. We don't go out to the corporate as much as
Call
we
of
should.
duty.
Yes. Yes. So a lot of people came out and they were like, oh, I didn't realize I can actually go into pharma, I can go into medical devices and still be the healthcare practitioner that I have been, but just at a different part of the healthcare value chain.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was, yes, encouraging in terms of my career progression, but even the fact that I gave people courage, people in healthcare, courage to change and be something different, but
Right.
still remain within the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
To someone who's not a stranger to the name Judge, Chris Senano, people have seen you in different platforms. And you're part of this one now, Top 40 Under 40. What new kick would you like to give it, especially for those who feel it's Business Daily, Top 40, it's those who are up there. What chance do I have? As a judge, what would you tell them? You could hold it closer to you.
I think the key thing about this platform is that it gives an opportunity to bring out some of the untold stories, some of the stories that, leadership stories that one will not necessarily get. So I'd like to encourage everybody who believes in themselves. I'd like to encourage people's friends and family who believe in others to nominate, because you never know which story, which path, which journey is going to inspire the judges. And I feel as we get this opportunity through the platform to bring out those untold stories, it will inspire a lot of young people out there, you know,
Right.
to do more, to do better, to do different.
Right. Ronald, if I can engage you now, were you at the time, 2018, when you were a winner, were you still at Electrolux, or were you in a different field and then now this propelled you? Where were you at that time?
So at that time, I was the country manager for Bosch, and I've actually changed positions twice. Now, for me, this is on my LinkedIn, and it's something that, you know, I'm proud of, and I put it out there. And what it did for me is I've been sought after. You know, sometimes I tell people that I know the economy is hard, but I've had like 4 offers this year alone, you know. But at the same time, you can't jump at every offer that you get. So just to answer your question, I've actually changed jobs twice. And Electrolux is, I believe I'm going to settle here for some time because I like the organization and I
In case
like
your
what you
boss
do.
is watching.
My boss is in Dubai. I'm not sure he's watching.
It's online, so hey, never be too sure. So would you credit the acknowledgement, Top 40 Under 40, to the fact that now you're a much sought after person, executive?
I would give it quite a bit of credit because when I won Top 40 Under 40, the story that it was telling was I was the best country manager in sub-Saharan Africa for Bosch. So then when it was put on Top 40 Under 40, you know, this was able to tell my story better, and I believe has contributed to to me, been sought after, because when I speak to my peers, it's not an everyday affair. It does not happen to everybody that they get a number of offers and people looking after them. So definitely, I would credit Top 40 Under 40.
And in your case, were you nominated? Did you nominate yourself? How did it play out?
Well, I believe I was nominated by a couple of people, maybe 3 or so.
Okay.
And yeah, they had just looked at what I had done in the industry when I was in FMCG previously. Then I went into appliances at Samsung. Then I was at Bosch. So they wanted to tell my story, but my story is also not just about what I've done in terms of my career. It's also about mentorship and, assisting people who are younger than me. And yeah.
Right, and we'll get into what you're doing now, just to kind of give people an idea of, after the acknowledgement, it doesn't end there. Haujaomoka, haujafika, the journey continues. And to someone who can rightfully say ameomoka, Peter, with the acknowledgements that you've had under Twiga Foods, someone who would want to attempt, would be intimidated by the attention it will draw, what would you tell that person with the journey that you have achieved or reached as a co-founder of Twiga, with all the thousands of people who are bound to interact on that platform?
So thank you so much. First thing is that I was also part of Top 40 Under 40, I think in 2015 or 2014.
An old boy.
So at least I've walked the journey. And I think the thing is that the way I look at this platform and any other platform is that, especially in the world that we live in today, a lot of people have gone through a very, very difficult time with this pandemic. And I think this is an opportunity to create stories that inspire. Because right now, sometimes inspiration is short in the world. And in whatever it is that you're doing, it doesn't mean that by looking at whatever you're doing and saying that, look, maybe this might not be big enough. I think it's always having that point where you want to start and say that, look, this might be something small in my eyes, but in the eyes of somebody else, I might just help them have the mental fitness to then move to their next situation. And that's how I think this platform can be a true inspiration, because when I look at where I started, when I was maybe being voted in the Top 40 Under 40, I was in Coca-Cola, but now I'm an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneurship journey is really not easy. And I think sometimes, you might look at it outside in, and it looks like it's a very, very glorified journey. Mm-hmm. But there's really tough moments in there. And I think it's important for us to always find people who are also walking that journey and inspiring the next set of entrepreneurs, the next set of business leaders, especially for the world that we're going into.
Okay, and just now that I'm told that we're getting to somewhat of a conclusion, because I want to give people a good idea of what this will entail, given the dates and timelines. So the launch is today of this platform. It will be going live, and you'll be able to nominate yourself, something I'll ask you about. The nomination period will run from today till the 26th of October, and there'll be something called a Success Roundtable that is going to be on mid-October, and then there'll be the judging date on the 1st of November for men, and the judging date for women on the 5th of November. And then there'll be a winners pullout from the Business Daily, definitely, and that will be on the 12th of November for the men and the 26th of November for the women. And then Top 40 Under 40 Men's Award event will be on the 26th of November, and Top 40 Under 40 Women's Award event will be on the 3rd of December. So as soon as we go live with this, make sure you start with the process. Nominate yourself, nominate someone that you feel needs to be appreciated. And Chris, that part of nominating yourself, the issue of objectivity, how do you sift through all that? Because I'm bound to say I'm the best bald-headed journalist, maybe. But you know what I mean. How do you go to the objectivity of it if someone is able to nominate themselves?
I think it comes from two angles. One, you do happen to have peers, and there's conversations that go on in every industry. And at some point, yes, you are one of the best bald-headed journalists.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't know whether you're the best. You're
Bald-headed.
definitely one of the best. So it's an issue of sometimes sizing yourself up and having confidence to say, actually, I'm going to put myself out there. It takes guts. It
Yes.
takes guts. But over and above that, I think it's worth it. So I would encourage people to nominate themselves
Right.
if others don't nominate them.
And is it a thing of, Peter, you've been through it, how many nominations you get? Now that I already have my vote, can I nominate myself more than once? What's the procedure, what the understanding for the person who would want to do this?
Well, I think the key thing is that everybody has their own compelling journey and compelling story. And if you put it across, I don't think it's about the number of times you put it out there. I think it's about the quality of the story that you tell. And I think this is an opportunity for us to also learn about storytelling, and especially about our own journeys, and making it compelling and inspiring to others. And I think that for us is some of the things that will really catch one's eye. And I think that's what somebody really needs to focus on. What journey have I walked, and how can I make it more compelling?
And there's a point where they definitely, in cross-checking, do you have to defend your title or anything, just for the people who've not been through it?
No.
They go through the work, they approach you, you're nominated, and it goes through.
Well, I think it does go through the judges from that point.
Yeah.
Because from what I remember, I had an interview. And
Okay.
at that point, they said they were not interviewing me because I had won.
Yes.
They were interviewing me to just get my story, just in case. So then,
Just cross-check.
yes.
Yeah.
And then on the D-Day, I bought the newspaper, and then I found myself there. So nobody really called me to say, you won. But
And we can see right behind us on the big screen that the countdown is starting to the launch. And as soon as the timer starts, yes, there we go. I'd like to invite some people to join us in this occasion. And I'd start with our CEO, Bwana Stephen Gitagama. If you could join us here. We could stand for this, I believe, to my director. Yes. If you could join us, please. And Clifford Machoka, the head of external affairs and marketing at Nation Media Group. And the Inchcape Kenya Managing Director, Bwana Hussein Ibrahim, please make your way to the stage. And the EABL Brand Manager, Josephine Katambo, wherever you are, ma'am, please join us to the stage just for this period. And those who are on Zoom, if you can put on your video, we could probably celebrate together. You could just, wave wherever you're joining us from as we count down. And now we're getting to 13, so we start from 10. Now let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You could use your mics. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 is officially launched. And ladies and gentlemen, we have gone live on top40.bdafrica.com, where you can start by the nomination process. You can see right here, I didn't mean to cut the music off, the interface that you will meet. You've weathered the storm to be the leader of the pack. Are you nominating yourself? That's what you will see. And yes, so ladies and gentlemen, this is what you will see on top40.bdafrica.com to be able to interact with this. Nominate yourself, nominate someone who you feel should be celebrated for their achievements in their community, in their sector.